Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miel Hebraica and Hebrew Honey. Today we're looking at Psalm 100. Psalm 100 is a beautiful psalm of praise to the Lord. I've often used it as a call to worship and starting a church service and call to go right straight to Psalm 100. It's easy to remember. Sometimes if you're starting a service and you're looking down at your notes and you don't know which ones you're using for a call to worship, Psalm 100 always fits. So it's a beautiful psalm and very short, very concise, and very nice. It's got an interesting Quere in it. That's a substitute, and we're going to take a look at that. It's one of those situations where it's very hard to tell exactly whether the Ketiv or the Quere is the real reading. So makes it a little bit of head scratching here as to what we're going to do with that alternate reading. So let's get to it. Mishmor leTodah, hariu leYehovah kol haaretz. Mishmor is a psalm, of course, or sum, the psalm of the strumming of the harp. Rum, you get the shemor, the mishmor. That's a psalm. LeTodah, to giving thanks. Giving thanks is Todah. I've included the title in this one. Quite often, English translations don't include the title. Some of them do. But in this case, this Mishmor LeTodah, it does fit with what's in the rest of the psalm, because we're going to get down to about third or fourth verse, and then we'll see Thanksgiving again. So we'll see Thanksgiving at the start here, Mishmor LeTodah, the psalm of thanksgiving. Hareu, make a joyful noise. That's Yoru. This is a call to Reu is singing it out. Okay, shout it out, make it loud. Hareu le Yehovah, to Jehovah. That looks like a revia, but I'll take it as a holum. Okay, la Yehovah, okay, to Jehovah. Kol al haaretz, all of the earth, all of the earth. Some people will include, or some of the translations put in, all the inhabitants of the earth, but it just simply says the earth, so the entire earth. And the psalmist quite often, the Bible quite often, just simply it has the earth, and which then includes all of the elements of the earth, the seas, the skies, the stars, and so forth. So we're not just restricting it to people giving thanks, but also the entire earth gives thanks to the Lord. Havdu et Yehovah bishimcha ba'u lefanav be'rinana. Serve, this is a imperative. Avdav is to be in service. Serve et Yehovah, direct object marker in front of Yehovah. Serve the Lord. Bet shimha, with the gladness. Make it happy. Shimha is, we've seen this quite often. This is a very common word in the Psalms. So bet shimha, with gladness, with happiness. Shimha, and Ba'u, come. Again, another imperative right here. Ivdu, Ba'u, come. Lifnav, before his face. It's plural, but we can understand as a singular here. Lefanav, in front of his face. Be re nana, in singing. Okay, re nina, This is with singing. And here's the passage that has the Ketiv Quere. Ketiv is written. Okay, the written here is Lamed Aleph. The Quere is this one over here. This is the Lamed Holam. Lamed Vav, Lamed Holam here. So both of them have, of course, a conjunction in front of them. They actually sound exactly the same. There's no change in how you're going to pronounce it. This is one of the interesting things about here. There's just absolutely no change in the pronunciation, but there is certainly a change in the way you would understand the passage. Now, the Ketiv is what was written. So when the scribe was writing, and it came to him, okay, what do we have to write down? We have to write down the Lamed Aleph. Then when the Masoretes went through it and said, how do we have to read it? Well, we really should read it with the Lamed Vav. And there's often like a motivation as to why we would do this. Both of these readings make a lot of sense. They're very good readings. I can't knock one down against the other one. This reading's good. The other reading is just as well. Now, Every time you see a Quere, you have to think of the motivation. Why did they do this? And when you take a look at here, you have velo anachnu. And when you come over here, you have lo anachnu. Okay, lo anachnu. And then this then is a holum on this Quere right here. And sure enough, it joins up with amo. Okay, ve-riato. Okay, so you have this holum, you have that holum, you have that holum. Okay, so there's definitely a push for what I call harmonization. In other words, the Masoretes saw these two personal pronouns that are suffixed, and they said this one should also be a suffix personal pronoun. So that's why the Quere was put in here. And so if we're trying to understand the motivation of why they would do this, you go, well, there's simply a matter of harmonization. To him, we are his people, we are a flock of his pasture, we are. That's his pasture, okay? To him, his people, and to his pasture. So, yeah, the Quere very much does harmonize what's in the rest of the passage. Makes it fits a little better to what's in the rest of the passage. If you just read it as lo, as a negative right here, as no, and that's what this is, the Ketiv is the negative. You go, wow, okay. It's a bit of a jump at that point. You go, oh, stop, and let's move on to something else. Okay, so velo, nachnu, and not us, not we. Okay, so that puts the brakes on the middle of the reading. So yes, there's some motivations now. Both interpretations are good, I will say. So and they aren't exclusive. In other words, if you take one, it doesn't mean you don't like the other one. You can actually work with both interpretations. It's a good thing to, and both of them work, like I said. So, Deu ki Yehovah hu Elohim. Know that Jehovah, He is God. Hu asanu, He has made us. Okay, He makes us. Hu asanu, velo, and not anachnu, and not us. We haven't made us ourselves. We're not our own creators. We aren't our own makers. We are made by someone else. A very, very beautiful message. We must understand that. Yeah, we aren't of our own creation. We are a creation of God. So this is a very, very, very beautiful passage, very beautiful teaching. Okay. Velo anachnu, amo, his people, we are, and the verb for understanding existence is right here. It's understood, okay. Amo, Zoan, we are his people and his flock, okay. Both Zoan, me, ma, ritov, of his pasture. Rayu is the word for pasturing or looking at, being a pastor, and so it's a sense of we are under his oversight. Okay? So we're under his oversight. Yorai, okay, to be Yehovah Roi. When you read Psalm 23, you'll find the same Reshayan root right there, and this one happens to be a little bit more expanded into a full-out pasture, full-out noun here of a pasture, ma'areto, in his pasture. So this reading is very understood. Let's do it again with this reading, okay? Da'u ki Yehovah, hu Elohim, know that Jehovah, He is God. Hu anach asanu, He has made us. Ve'lo, and to Him. So what you have here then is the vav, the conjunction, up against a lamed of possession, to Him, okay? This is for Him, and then this is a personal pronoun suffixed on the end of this possessive preposition, and so to Him. So we belong to Him, okay? And this Him, the antecedent for Him would be Yehovah. So, and to Him, anachnu, we are, okay? We belong, we are His, okay? Velo anachnu, this is a full-out first person plural pronoun here, and here this means that we belong to Him. Amo, we are His people, again belonging to Him. Zwan, meratov, we are the sheep of his pasture. And again, all of these, this one and then this one and this one, all of these would be possessive pronouns that are suffixed to these words. Okay, we belong to him. We are his people. We are his pasture. Okay, so this is, and that's one of the reasons I would say why the Masoretes took a look at it and said, you know what, this would fit a little better if we just had this Vav harmonize, or the Holem harmonize here and harmonize here. So we'd have three of them in a row. Okay, it fits a little bit more as to what the way it flows. Doing it as lo anachnu and not us, that does kind of put the brakes on the middle of the passage. Like I said, both of these work, and they aren't mutually exclusive. If you read one of them, fine, that's good. He has made us, not we ourselves. We understand that. He is he who has made us, and we are his. Okay, we belong to him. That also works. Okay, so both of them work. This one here, if somebody would say, "Oh, yeah, we're leaving open the gate as to, that we might have been making ourselves." This, in other words, this one would be, "Oh, this is a little bit more humanistic, a little bit more man-centered." Yeah, it really doesn't go that way. So it's he who has made us, and we are his. We belong to him. Okay, we are his sheep of his pasture. As you can see, it probably fits a little bit more as to how it fits into where we fit into what's happening here in this passage. If you read this one, he has made us, not we ourselves. Okay, stop, think about it. It does put a little abrupt stop in the middle of the passage, but it's still understandable. It's just simply cuts up the flow a little bit when we do it with the Ketiv. Okay, velo anachnu. So it's one of those passages where both the Ketiv and the Quere work very well, and the pronunciation is going to be exactly the same. Okay, velo. Okay, hu asanu. Velo anachnu, and not us. Bo sharav bet todah. Remember, we said at the start that this was mishmor todah, mishmor todah, the psalm of thanks, and here it is again, thanksgiving. Okay, so we have it in the title, and we also have it in the middle of the passage. So this is one time when the title and the passage do fit together very well. Okay, so sometimes they don't, but this one certainly does. Okay, bo sharav betodah, with happiness, with thanksgiving. Hatzarotav is chet. Okay, make sure that you catch the chet here. Hatzarotav, his courtyards, plural, of course, here with the Olam Tau, and belonging to him. This is gates belonging to him, courtyards belonging to him. Bit tihila, in praise, with thanks, with praise, we come into his courtyards of the temple, courtyard of the house of God. And this is when you're reading it as a call to worship. You're in a church and say, hey, let's gather together and let's start worshiping the Lord. And so it's calling into his courtyards. Ahodu lo, and give thanks to him. Incidentally, this is todah. This holam dalet, those are the same base root. So you've got a noun form of todah here, and this is hodu. This is the verb form of it here. So give thanks, hodu lo, to him. Birku, and bend your knee in thanksgiving. Bless his name. Shemo, his name. Okay, Baraku Shemo. Kitov Yehovah leolam chazdo ve'ador vador emunato, and from generation to generation, his faithfulness. Emunato, his faithfulness. Kitov, because good. Yehovah, leolam, forever. Chazdo, his faithfulness, his love, steadfast love. The Hesed is, of course, mercy. Very well known word in the Hebrew language. Hesed, chesed. It's you've lost the double. It's a segolate when it's simple. You look it up in the root and you'll find a double segol right here. But no, this is hasdo, his mercy, leolam hasdo. Incidentally, in Psalm 136, each verse of this Psalm 136 has this particular leolam hasdo. Okay, because forever is his mercy. Okay, forever is his mercy. Forever is his mercy. And in this case, yeah, forever is his mercy. Now, I've also in the translation here stated his faithfulness. Emonato is from ad dor vador, from generation to generation. Most modern translations just take it to all generations, and okay, fine. But if you take this is singular from generation to generation, generation to generation. If you just say all generations, you've lost the concept of God's love being transferred from one generation to the other. Okay? Dor, ad dor, dor. Okay? So it goes generation to generation. And simply putting in the plural doesn't communicate that sense of handing one thing from one generation to the next. Okay? Dor, ad dor. And the scriptures very often this is how it's written out. Most of them are. I really can't. Dorim. I can't really remember if there's a plural. There probably is a plural to it, but this is generation to generation, generation to generation, and I've separated it out. So I would, if you want to state it a little more clearly, his faithfulness is handed from generation to generation. His faithfulness goes from generation to generation. Very beautiful. When we are in praise to the Lord, his faithfulness goes from one generation to the next. He's been faithful to my generation. He's been faithful to the generation that's following me. He's been faithful to the next generation after me. I have grandchildren, and I'll just be very happy to say, yes, his blessings have gone to my generation. They've gone to my children's generation. They've gone to my grandchildren's generation. So it's gone from generation to generation, and something we most certainly praise the Lord for. So be faithful, come into his courtyards with praise and thanksgiving, and most certainly recognize that he is Lord and he has made us. We haven't made ourselves. We belong to him also. Both of those things of the Ketiv Quere are true for us in great ways. And one of those things where I can't say, oh, one's better than the other. They both work. So understand them, apply them to your lives, and live in grateful love to the Lord at all times. May the God bless you. Until the next time.